Chris.
We won't learn about finding the volume of your pet. Charles, today we won't learn about finding the family of your pet.
Dude, I got all my homework done last week in one day.
Sure, and I see it's answering our bell ringing.
Well, tomorrow we're taking our STAR test. And we're basically having
That means
Yeah, you are. Well, then you're gonna take it another day.
I won't come another day. Summer school.
You won't be with me. And then your mom will get
Die.
or with any of your other friends.
Okay.
And your mom will get in trouble. She will.
What if I want to wait?
What?
What if I want to wait?
About full tour and Friday. Dylan.
I'm not taking it.
Dylan.
No.
Dylan.
Oh, Dylan, you were zooming that boy. You were.
Dylan. They almost blew up his whole locker down.
Wow.
I don't know. He just took off running because they said we had 1 minute till the bell. I thought he was pulling his locker door off, and all of a sudden the whole locker started kicking.
What?
They almost pulled his whole locker off.
I was going to say, what is it? What is
The whole thing
it?
started ticking. Like, is it too low?
We open up the new classroom to the question.
What y'all do?
Does he look different?
We do what we do.
Yeah.
Alright, so that was the bell, which means you got 3 minutes to finish your bell ringer.
Oh.
I got taller. I've grown on you. I'm
3 minutes to finish your bell ringer.
You are not picking up the rest.
Soon I'm gonna be 6'9". I'm a 6.
5'2".
Dylan, I'm almost taller than 5'2".
Dude, I'm as tall as Dylan.
Alright,
Almost taller than 5'2".
if we're talking this much, I can only assume that your bell ringer's done. Because remember, you never know what day I'm going to grade it.
You about to take a test?
No. You just need a formula sheet, like we need every day.
markers?
Do we keep this?
No, it's just the class copy.
Why do you have a MacBook?
I'll let my phone look. This is the handout. This is the handout. Oh, it's. The handout. Where am I short?
I don't know what you're saying.
Back, here we go. I wasn't sure.
Oh.
Who? Why you get in trouble? Did you get in trouble?
That's
Why?
what happened in Congress when they got called Mr. Board.
Did you?
No.
How do y'all know?
He's in his class.
Oh, well, he could have done it outside the class.
Yeah, but why would he do that? He respects her, respects her. Alright, 10 seconds left.
Hey,
Put it on.
Hey, I will have to tell you a story though.
Oh, we didn't go outside today, but we have gone.
Maybe you should wait
Alright.
up earlier. You want your answer.
Graham, look,
Alright,
I will have to tell you something.
so it said, what type of 3D figure is this and what shape is the base? So Campbell, what type of 3D figure was it? A triangular prism. And
I said a long
Aiden,
triangle.
what was the shape of the base?
A rectangle.
Try again.
Rectangular.
It's a
Triangle.
triangular prism.
It's triangle.
Triangle.
Oh, I thought you meant the bottom side of it.
Yeah.
Alright.
So, but we can't get confused by that word base, right? It does normally mean bottom, right? But the thing about 3D figures is we can lay it however we want, right?
Also, if it was standing up, it would do the triangle.
With prisms, right, their bases, they're parallel on either side, right? And also, if you're ever not sure, the name of the thing is the base, right?
Oh, that's cute.
So like today, we're gonna be dealing with different kinds of pyramids. We'll have rectangular pyramids, which means it has a rectangle base, and triangular pyramids, which means they have triangle bases. Alright? Any questions about that? Alright.
What, are you recording this class?
Yep.
Why is it always?
Because why not? Alright. Emma Jo, tell us what we're gonna learn today.
We're gonna learn about finding the volume of pyramids.
Alright, Evelyn, tell us what we should be able to do by the end of class.
A prism.
Or a pyramid. There we go. Alright, so on your handouts, the first thing you see at the top of your page is these lovely steps that I wrote out for you. Alright? So we're going to read us step 1. On the page that I gave you. Identify the figure in the shape of this. Alright, so what do you know? Our bell ringer ties in with what we're doing, and it's the first step of each of these problems, right? Because once you identify if it's a prism or a pyramid, that tells you which formula for volume you're going to need to use, right? I'll go ahead and give you a hint. Today, we're mainly dealing with pyramids. So almost all of them are going to be pyramid. Alright? Then, once you know the figure and the shape of the base, right? The next thing we're going to do is step 2. Dylan, what's step 2?
Find the area of the base.
Find the area of the base. Alright, that tells us the capital B in our formula. Alright? So if we're dealing with a rectangle base, right, we know it's length times width, find the area of a rectangle. Or if we're dealing with a triangle, it's base times height divided by 2, right? And those formulas are also on your sheet, which is why we use our formula sheets every day.
Man.
Alright. Lastly, we follow down to step 3. Chaz, you want to tell us step 3?
Yes, ma'am. Plug in this value in for B in the volume formula and solve.
Oh, yeah. So once we find the area of the base, we're gonna plug it in to our volume formula along with the height, and we solve. Alright? So now let's actually put that into practice. So that first problem at the bottom of your thing, it's numbered number 15 because I didn't go through and renumber them. Alright, it says, a model of the Egyptian pyramids is created for a world history class. The pyramid is shaped like a rectangular pyramid. The model has the dimensions shown. So step one, we're going to identify the figure and the shape of the base. Luckily, 90% of these problems are going to tell you what the figure is in the problem, right? So if you're ever not sure about the picture, just double check with your problem and it'll most likely tell you, right? In this case, it tells us right here that we're dealing with a rectangular pyramid, which means the base is what shape? Rectangle. So now that we know that we're going to use volume equals capital B H divided by 3 for our formula. So that's step one. Step two, we have to find the area of the base. Since it's a rectangle, we know that capital B is going to equal what?
2.
Length times width. And then for this pyramid, our length and width of our rectangles are 15 and 21, which Emma Jo pointed out. Alright? Then we're going to multiply that, and somebody tell me what you get.
325.
Close.
326.
315.
315. And that's going to be inches squared, right? Because area is 2-dimensional. And that also happens to be the answer to your first blank here. Because it says what is the area of the base. Then the second blank says what is the height of the pyramid. So we're looking for the line that's going to go from the point at the top straight down, and that value is 25. So the height of the pyramid is 25 inches. And now that we have identified the area of the base and the height, we can now plug those back into our original formula and solve for the volume, right? So we're going to come up here, capital B is 315, the height is 25, we're going to multiply that out and divide by 3. I'll give y'all a minute to work it out and tell me what you get. I'm trying to pick it up, come on. Gotta work with this one.
Yeah, because you told me to be quiet.
I got the answer.
That's what.
Just don't have it.
Alright, I'll come back and get it. Some people are still working.
Yeah.
What would this label be? Volume is what kind of dimension?
Oh, you just keep.
Three-dimensional. I don't see you working.
I don't even know what we're working on.
I'm working on the first problem.
No, I mean, number wise.
15. First problem.
No, like divide, no.
There you go.
I don't know what to divide.
I got it for you.
Set it all in for some correction. Room. Room. Let me reach my backpack.
Volume is what?
I know, hey, I know.
It's gonna
it's
quiet
loud.
faster?
Oh, so you can do that?
They only hear us, can they see us? Can they see us or they just see the screen?
They just hear you.
They don't wanna see ugliness.
Oh, I would've broke the camera.
You see a pencil, a marker, a photo, a phone, don't say you do nothing though. If you really want, you can get a pen on my desk. Just make sure you bring it back.
Have mercy on me.
Alright. So you should have gotten 2,625 inches cubed.
Throw it back.
Volume is three-dimensional.
Hey, Brandon.
So it's
Throw it back.
I don't know how I got it, but I got it.
Okay.
Hey, Brandon.
Alright.
Throw it back.
Let's move on to the next example.
Throw it back.
Do not throw things in this classroom.
No, I mean, no, throw it back.
That's
Throw
lunch
it
detention.
back.
No form of throwing is
Lunch
happening in this
detention.
classroom.
No,
No form of throwing is happening.
no, we're not throwing, we're throwing it
No,
back.
that is a form of throwing. and
No,
I
we
do
ain't
not-
throwing that.
Yeah, you throw it the booty.
Don't accept it. No form of throwing in this classroom. No.
I don't even know how to do it.
Like me and Charles got in trouble.
Hey,
Alright, moving on.
They walk it back.
Refocus. Alright, so, the next one, using spaghetti and marshmallows. The students in Miss Morris's class create a triangular pyramid. So once again, it told us what we're dealing with, right? The pyramid has the dimensions below. So it already identified it for us. What's the shape of our base?
Triangle.
Triangle. So we're using the same volume formula as before. Alright. So that's step one. Step two, find the area of the base, right? We gotta figure out what capital B is. And so since it's a triangle, our formula for a triangle is base times height divided by 2. What's the base and height of our triangle? 5 and 12, right? You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful with these
That means
these
it's
right
30.
triangles, because they've turned it, right?
That means the answer.
And if we were to rotate it again, it would look like this.
2. It's 2.
Right, and the 90-degree angle points at the diagonal, and we don't need the diagonal, right? We don't use that in our volume, in our area formula. So it's gonna be 9 times 12, which is
5 between.
9 times 12 is,
Where did you get 9?
oh, 5, my bad.
The teacher messed up.
Things happen. Alright.
Yeah, I was one of them.
5 times 12 is
60.
60, we divide by 2, we get 30, and that's our answer to our first blank. 30 centimeters squared. Now that we found capital B, the second blank wants us to identify H, the height, which is
12.
line going from the top here, straight down.
Should be.
Alright, and then, now that we've identified the area of the base and the height, we can plug it back into our formula and solve, right?
So
So
30
we
times,
get 30
times
times
12,
12.
3.
divided by 3. 30 times 12 will give us
360.
360. We divide that by 3 and we get
120.
120.
120 centimeters cubed.
Yeah,
Well,
we
no,
use
no, square.
Cube.
Oh, okay.
Remember, area is two-dimensional. We're doing flat shapes. Volume is when we're filling up space, and that's three-dimensional.
Hey, that's how I do my math category. 2 plus 2 is 3.
It's not like he's every quarter choice, right?
Yeah.
Rim's gay.
Dude, I could see you being
Inappropriate,
else.
and we know it.
Sorry.
Do you want to lunch attention? Then let's keep it appropriate in the classroom.
He needs some milk.
All right. So now, before we move into part
Wait, wait,
right?
wait. What do you do?
We're not gonna discuss it, it's inappropriate, it's something you can discuss. Alright, so, moving on. There's something I want you to notice before we move on to the next problem, right? Our pyramid formula is almost exactly the same as a prism formula, right? What's the key difference?
2 divided by 3.
Uh-huh. And so can anybody tell me what that tells us about the relationship between a prism and a pyramid?
That's
Twin
Okay.
babies.
Uh-huh. So it would take 3 pyramids to make a prism. Right?
What if you're one really big person? Like, you're 3 people in you, but
Alright, so now we're gonna partner up. You're gonna have 10 minutes to work on the problems on the back. Yep.
Did you know that there are 63,360 inches in a mile? Oh.
I
Alright,
did, because I can't even.
so like I said, partner up, Ram, 10 minutes.
Imogen,
Nope, come
I need somebody smart.
Yeah, okay.
Alright, you give me a problem, I'll sign them.
Hey, Rem, it started.
Hey Campbell, are you want to be my partner?
Hold up, I'm gonna wait till it says mine.
Dude.
Alright, come on. I need to see who's with who, let's go. Alright, so I see Kaden and Campbell together. Dylan, who are you with?
Katie Campbell.
I mean,
That's
Rose.
Ram, thank you very much.
I'd rather call it.
Alright, it's not my day, guys, it's not my day. Alright,
What did you
so
get
these
back?
two are together. No. Dylan, who are you with?
You don't even think this.
Imogen,
Well, I just still need to do my bell ring.
Oh.
I'll actually work. I promise. You want to shake on it?
No.
Okay.
Rem, come on.
No, you don't know me too well.
I'm
I know, I'm from the project.
Alright, I'm holding you to it.
Dylan.
Alright, so Campbell, who are you working with?
Dylan, come on.
Jazz, alright.
Okay, I'll be seven.
Evelyn, who are you working with?
That's a clean cut.
Dylan, come on.
Come on, you're working with them. Nope, this is the reason why I'm working partners. You gotta get outside opinion, outside views.
Oh, really?
That would be
Caleb, join a group. Join a group, we're not even, so join someone.
Dylan.
How did the area?
You should do it.
Multiply.
No, so I'm trying to find this area. We can find that area of the base. We can find that.
So that's the area, but then we have to divide by 3. So 756 divided by 3.
What's up? Oh, it's a new 6 weeks. So they're not in grades yet. Oh, on the benchmark? I'll show you in the class. Go focus on your problem.
Yeah. No. This one. So it's one volume, and that's a pyramid. So the volume of the pyramid equals the base times 9 divided by 3. So, this is a rectangle triangle. So, that's how to get the area of the triangle. So it's gonna be little base times height divided by 2. Well, there's bases. So that's how you find the area. So let's plug it in. Oh my goodness. Okay. So we have to find the base and the height. So what's the base and height? So if this is the 90-degree angle, whatever is across from the 90-degree angle is the diagonal. So pushing is the diagonal, and we're not looking for the diagonal at all. So you can kind of cross over each other. Okay. So then we're using. Don't work.
I'm in my work.
Yeah, you are. Okay. So we're gonna multiply. So we're gonna find 9 divided by 12 and then divide it by 2. So it's 9 times 12. It's 9 times 11. You put it in, yes. And then just add 9.
Why did you do that?
Huh?
Why did you do that?
Yeah, because it's so
What do
much
you I have to do some work? Okay. Okay, so then we divide 108 by 2. So 54. So 54 is this, the big base, okay? It's gonna be 54. What's the height? So 54 times 15 divided by 3. You gotta work it out. Dylan, you gotta work it out. 6.6.
And so now it's put that
Dylan, did you finish?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do what you did. You just climbed up my
I got 63.
Anyways, so you have 8,000 over 3, so that needs to divide. So 8,000 divided by 3.
Hey, we got the answers. Smart people got it.
2 minutes.
You just got done, so.
Shut up.
She did
Stay in your own side.
Alright, guys, come on, refocus.
Stay in your side.
Come on, you only got 2 minutes left to finish.
Stay on your block, cuz.
Alright, good. We on Main Street.
That's kind of race.
Is that right?
The box will be shaped
Oh,
like
I
a
got it. I got it.
pyramid, so it's gonna look like that.
I got 3 minutes.
The volume is 120, and the area of the face. So the volume has 64. 54 off by.
8 times 8, 6
So we know the volume, and we know the base.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be 120.
I didn't do that.
So, Dylan, and we're trying to find the height. They gave us the volume and the base, we have to find the height. Okay? So, how you get volume? The triangle here is base times height divided by 3. And they gave us no, I got paint on it. That was not intentional. Dylan, I got ink paint on it, someone else painted something. Hold your paint.
Alright, you got 10 seconds left, so put your final calculations and move back to your seats.
I didn't even touch.
Yes, you did.
Alright,
What was that?
so let's go over them real quick. Number 17. What is the volume of the figure below? So follow your steps.
Ah, throw on the leg. Stay on your block, cuz.
Alright, so we're gonna follow our steps, right? So step 1 says identify the figure and the shape of the base. Remington, on number 17. What shape is our figure?
Hey, somebody's outside.
Rectangular.
Not
Rectangle. Square prism.
It was a triangular prism with a base of square. It was a rectangle, really.
Square prism.
Blue.
Triangle prism with square base.
Right.
It's a rectangle.
It's a rectangular pyramid.
Pyramid, not
It,
I got those words mixed up.
Alright, if it comes to a point, right, that's a pyramid. It's when it has the parallel sides as a prism. Alright, so since we know it's a pyramid, we know that our volume formula is the same we've been using all day.
Quiet.
Right?
Stay in your own.
And since it's a rectangular pyramid, we know that our base is a rectangle. So capital B equals, what's our formula for rectangle?
Oh, wait,
Length times width. Which the length and width on these were 9 and 6. Which when we multiply those together, we get 54.
Close.
So then we're gonna plug that back into our original formula. So it's gonna be 54 times the height, which is 14. And we divide that by 3, and when we solve that out, what do we get? 2. Anybody else concur or disagree?
Me. No, I'm kidding. I agree.
So it's up the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, someone from a different group, do we agree or disagree?
I agree.
Yeah, no, look, bro, we did something totally different.
Alright. Y'all see where y'all messed up?
No, we didn't.
Let's see what you did.
You're not even showing it.
Oh, we didn't even.
Cause he did it before me.
We didn't know.
I was walking over here and he got done.
I forgot about the, I didn't do the times width, I did the base on height.
Sorry, I'm coming.
Alright, so the pyramid, it's our same volume formula.
What's the answer to unit?
Dylan's fun stuff.
Since it's a triangular pyramid, our base is a triangle. So capital B equals
Keep paying.
base times height divided by 2. The area of the triangle. What's our base and height of our triangle?
9 and 15.
9 and 12.
9 and
12.
12.
What was 9?
Yeah, the 90 angle points at the diagonal.
It would be like,
I'm on
this
77.
would
I'll
make
get
him go up. If it wouldn't be that, you just.
Y'all are too smart, I don't
that,
wanna
that.
get it.
About to pull it up.
Look at the thing across from the.
Alright, listen.
That's the diagram.
Look, Kaden, look, I'm about to draw it again in a different way so you can see it. If we rotate this triangle,
Main Street look good.
it would look like this.
I'm getting real.
Right? 15 is the diagonal. And can we measure our height standing up straight or diagonally?
Straight.
Straight. So we don't need the diagonal.
Dude, stop throwing
I
stuff.
was trying to.
That's the
He
three
didn't
thing.
get with it.
Dylan, that's the three
Alright,
thing.
no,
I,
we're not dealing with it.
I
If
did
it
that.
happens again, it's a lunch detention.
Okay, I did that.
Let's keep control of our stuff. Alright. 9 times 12 is
108.
108. When we divide by 2, we get
54.
54. We'll plug that back into our original formula. 54 times the height, which is 15. And when we multiply that out, we get what is our final answer? 270. Alright. Number 19. I need a volunteer to read it. Somebody read it. Go ahead.
A box of candy is shaped like a triangular pyramid. The volume of the candy box measures 120 inches. The area of the base of the candy box is 18 inches. What is the height of the candy box?
Alright. So, key information that it tells us, right? It's a triangular pyramid. Right? They tell us that the volume is 120 inches cubed. And the area of the base is 18 inches squared. And they're asking for the height. So, since we're talking about a pyramid, we know that our volume formula is the same one we've been using all day. And then we're just gonna plug in the values that they give us, right? Volume is 120. Area of the base is 18. And then we don't know the height, so it stays H. So to solve for H, we have to work backwards, right? So we're gonna undo all the operations until we're just left with H on one side, right? So first, we're gonna undo this division with multiplication. These threes cancel out. Over here, we get 360 equals 18H. And then we're gonna undo that multiplication with division. We divide by 18 on both sides. On this side, the 18s cancel out, and we just get H equals, what's our final answer? 360 divided by 18, try it again.
Oh,
Man, that's a rush.
20, yes.
No, Dylan.
And just in case you weren't sure, you could have plugged 20 back into our original formula and see if when you multiply all that out, you got 120.
Yep.
So 18 times 20 would have been 360, and when you divide by 3, you get 120, and that's what they told us. All right,
Where did you get 3 from?
Formula.
Oh, no.
Alright. So, lastly, it says a square pyramid has a base that measures 8 inches on each side. The height of the pyramid is 15.5 inches. Determine the volume of the pyramid. So first things first, what figure are we dealing with?
A square pyramid.
A square pyramid. So it's got a base that is shaped like a
Triangle.
square. So since it's a pyramid, we know that its volume equals the area of the base times the height divided by 3. Capital B is the area of the square, which we find by doing length times width, which in this case is 8 times 8, which gives us 64. And they told us that the height was 15.5, so we're gonna plug those numbers back into our formula. 64 times 15.5 divided by 3. And then what answers did y'all get?
Everything's like 0.06. I already put the decimal point.
Yeah, they gave the decimal wrong.
Is it 330.6?
I think it's supposed to be 330.6. Let's see what it was. Yeah. And there's supposed to be what right there? Yeah. Alright, so yeah. Looking at it, Remington, you and Kate just had the decimal in the wrong spot. It should have been 330.6 repeating.
Told you.
Alright, any questions about this, alright? Main takeaways are our steps, the formulas, which you don't have to memorize because you have your charts, alright? And that it takes 3 pyramids to make a prism, right? Those are key takeaways. And with that, you're gonna answer your exit ticket questions on your own in the Google Classroom.
You confused me. Takes 3 prisms to make
It takes 3 pyramids to make a prism.
No, my Chromebook now.
What?
It takes 3 pyramids.
I don't get it.
It takes 30 pyramids to
Pyramids. Campbell Autry. I'm telling you.
I don't
You're getting on my last nerve. I can't find.
Pyramid.
What's this? Wait, what are we doing in band? Oh yeah, I forgot. We're having fun day.
My head.
Open the door for big deals.
Alright.
Here, well, like, just
Hey.
test that theory out.
Wait.
Hey, I just noticed this, put that lights out in the hallway. What'd you
So
do,
these don't
Miss
exactly
Nolan?
have the same base, right? But
Miss
if they
Nolan.
did, it would take all 3 of these pyramids to fill up this prism.
Dylan, you're so funny.
How would that work though?
Well, when you look,
It's just a fact of life.
well, we laugh all the time at you because we think you're a joke.
I don't see anyone laughing.
It's
I
just
hear
a fact of life. I don't know.
I hear crickets.
Hey, Miss Nolan.
Yeah,
What'd you do to that light?
Call Holland. He'll be the cricket.
Hey.
Hey,
It's hard to see. If we have time, I think I have the
Yeah,
ones.
did you log me out, Dylan?
If we have time,
Yes.
right?
Campbell,
there's
he
one
did.
where I have,
He did.
I think I have it, I'll have to check.
I
Where you
did.
can actually pour water into a pyramid and then.
What are we
slowly
doing
fill
in
it
band
to
today?
show that it takes 3.
Are we
But
getting
it's
new
just
music?
kind of one of
Or are we
those
not?
facts of life. I don't know why it makes
Let's
sense.
see.
Campbell, what
It's just
New music.
what it is.
What? I don't even know what we're doing in band.
Hey, I wanna ask you, what'd you do to that
Because
light?
it separates the questions on the individual pages.
No, that didn't.
You should be doing your exit ticket still in
Chad, is this more practicing your stream?
What'd you do to that light out there?
I didn't do anything to the light out there. The lights go out.
Hiccups.
It's just a fact of life.
When I do a hiccup, it
I
hurts.
think you did some.
'Cause
Dylan.
I'm just-
Exit ticket. Now.
I can't do everything. You would know if you were in the price of class.
Elin, let's go do our exit tickets.
Oh,
In the Google Classroom, you need to go answer your exit ticket questions.
Oh my god.
Because just like your bell ringer, you never know when I'm gonna grade it.
Remaining time.
Right there. Josiah made her.
Okay, I get that. I was thinking it was rectangle.
Okay,
Well,
well,
I
what you
mean,
said
they-
doesn't make sense, but.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, now my tongue's numb.
Yeah.
They said it in, ring. You don't know, here in a minute. You know in third period how you did all the plants?
Hey, Ram.
You mean Aiden pigment and how the hook part, tongues are numb. I can't feel my tongue, you can't feel his. Aiden. Yes.
Oh.
COVID.
It's not COVID, dude.
Alright, once again, you need to make sure that your exit ticket questions are answered before you leave the classroom. And you need to answer them to the best of your abilities because you don't know when I'll grade them.
Oh.
Hey, Miss Snell, what time do you get here at school? Are you always late?
No.
Oh, no, I do see you in the hall.
Oh my god, dude, if I don't stop hiccuping.
I didn't mean it.
What? Yeah.
Wait, get back.
Snell, what's your first name?
Leslie.
Leslie, it says it on the thing. It says every teacher's first and last name.
I know, but I was
Okay.
just
That's fine.
making sure.
That you can read.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm concerned about you.
I'm concerned about me too. Bad.
We all are.
You a bad boy.
Dude, that actually sounds really like.
Oh, are you giving me one?
I will if you
Oh,
do not
no,
get to
no.
work, like I've already told you several times.
Yeah, I think I've got both of them.
Because if you've got to ask, you most likely deserve it.
No, no.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a good boy.
No, you can't go. You're worse than me.
That I won't.
Cause it's easy later.
Alright, after you finish, make sure that you put your formula sheets back on the back table, not on my desk. And if you're answering the exit ticket questions on a note card, make sure I get those with your name on it.
Where I put this in my bag.
I got your notes.
So, hey, tomorrow I'll be good.
Uh-huh.
Dude, you're gonna have to be good. You talk, you get a 0 on your start.
Oh yeah, I forgot it.
Gonna be talking in advance.
You want to see Miss Normal?
That's it all. See you next year.
For Friday?
Yeah,
Friday, so stupid.
You gotta pass the start. You gotta pass all the stuff. Isn't a 50 passing?
Well, KP.
I don't know what it is for writing.
I think they made it
Tomorrow. The real thing is tomorrow for Rod.
you're reading it.
All right, remember when you finish, make sure that your formula sheets are back on the back table. Put it down. Don't even.
I won't. Miss Dawn,
What did he say?
Formula sheets need to be on the back table.
Chaz took it.
We'll go help out Chaz with his.
Oh.
Yes, you wanted to know. Alright, so in here.
Is it above the sky?
Make it perfect.
Twinkle, twinkle, little stars. How I wonder. Up the clock, something, something. Like a diamond.
Still got some work to do, but 7 of this question on the benchmark we haven't learned yet. So we're gonna still learn that stuff, right? Alright, we don't need the extra stuff. Leave the dictionaries alone. Just sit down at your seat until the bell rings. Come on, boys. Y'all know what to do. Your seats until the bell rings. And we're gonna have the 2 weeks before the start after we come back from winter break, spring break. We're gonna be practicing star fishing every day. So our scores are gonna go up, right? Because our goal is 83%. That's masters. So you're on track to get there. We just gotta keep working.
Oh, we
Yeah, but I dropped a lot.
Is this a throw?
Well, that's because we're adding more stuff in. You didn't know.
Stop.
Okay, I just want What did I say? In your seat until the bell rings.
Oh, and do we have a lot of options for taking the test? But I will be in here for Thursday, correct?
Because we're weird stuff on Thursday. That's what the 8th grade benchmark is.
You wanna make a bet? Like, money bet though.
No.
Wow.
Guys, I don't make money bets.
You think you're gonna lose?
Huh?
You think you're gonna lose?
No, I just don't make money bets.
I was gonna bet a penny, or maybe that I won't say a word on Wednesday.
Wait, you have one of those?
Is that deal?
Alright, so, just a reminder. There's no homework tonight. You'll get it on Wednesday.
Booyah!
Right? Because the only thing I want you to focus on is to go home and get some sleep for the star tomorrow.